Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Tower of God, Chapter 387, or Season 2, Episode 307. This one's going to be kind of short. I really don't have many notes. Or maybe it'll be super long, because sometimes I think that and I'll talk for like 20 minutes. So who knows? But I think it'll probably be pretty short, because it was kind of a short chapter either way, and in addition to that, it was also... there were a lot of really good art panels, a lot of action panels, a lot of things being told with the visuals rather than words. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk this through part by part and discuss it. So the second thorn has activated, we saw it last week, and is trying to pull Bomb away. Edwan swallows the format, and Data Zahard goes to try to steal the Fitbit, but we never actually saw him do that, so maybe we'll see that next week, or maybe it'll just be an assumed thing that happened. No clue. Or maybe they will not have succeeded. It's kind of a weird situation, but we haven't seen it. Or maybe they could all just pop out of the hidden floor. Bomb is too injured to stand up, so he collapses or whatever, and Rachel picks up the Fitbit like, I win! And it would just be such an asshole villain move that would be so good. It would be such a bad move, but it would be so good because of that. I just thought of that while just talking here. That would suck so much, and it would be so good because it would suck so much. That'd be great. But yeah, the Power's Hand is destroyed by Edwan swallowing the format. Yura's still pissy about Huang killing their mom, which I definitely understand. They killed your mom, but I feel like Yura should be a lot more sympathetic, because it's very, very clear that Huang did not want to kill their mom at all. Huang wanted their mom to love them, and I mean, if anything, shouldn't she be more mad at the mom? The mom is the one that, instead of waiting for Yura, said, you know what, I'm deciding to die here and now. I want you to go ahead and delete my data. So it's really not on Huang, I feel. Now Huang is also dead. So, whatever. Yura was still pretty pissed about that, though. Mazano protects her from that tentacle power of Zahard that was coming through the mirror, and so they all run to escape and all that, and as they're doing that, a magical mystery sword confronts Wangnan and offers him power to protect his friends in exchange for killing someone. And I had some discussion, I think, in the comments about this, about who it could be. The obvious is Bomb, and I think that might be the way it's going. I think he might go the obvious route, and have Wangnan have to try to kill Bomb, but then Bomb has to kill Wangnan because of that, and that's the tragic future, not for Wangnan, kind of for Wangnan, but mostly for Bomb. I hope it doesn't go that way, though, because both characters have a lot they should do. Wangnan, at the end of this story, Bomb should find his answers, climb to whatever the tower is, or tower's top is, maybe even leave the tower. Wangnan should become king, and be a kind king unlike Zahard. So both characters have end games that are right for them, end games that they should go for. So I hope one of them doesn't have to kill the other. I think that it'd be better writing if they didn't, but it was brought up that it could be Karaka, which would be smart. Zahard wanting to take down a slayer who is also part of whatever the princes are, one of his sons, whatever the princes are, part of himself, again, whatever they are. And it would also have some tragedy there, too, with Wangnan killing Karaka, despite Karaka being his sibling in some manner. And Karaka, of course, I think, even though they're going about it the wrong way, they probably have a good reason for going against Zahard, since Zahard and all of his ilk are pretty damn evil. Karaka probably has really good reasons for being a dick. So the hidden floor is disappearing. The Rachel panel makes no sense. I kind of didn't realize it at first, but we see Icarus running and the data's fading away into Rachel, and it makes no sense because Rachel was sitting around in a room with the headset on controlling Icarus. Icarus was just a chunk of data. It was just a hologram, essentially. A hologram with powers that could touch things. Hard light. I don't know. But, So yeah, that panel makes no sense since Rachel wasn't actually transformed into Icarus or inside of Icarus. Rachel was just in some room with a VR headset on. So yeah. Also, does this, if the whole hidden floor disappears or something, does this render Bottas' story pointless? all the time we spent on that, and all the other characters that were data who were going to just disappear into nothingness. Does this render a lot of that pointless? I'm not sure. Not sure how I feel about this ending, but again, it's not over. We still need to see what happens next week. But Data's Heart speaks to power, and I really love that scene where he's saying, this boy is your new adventure. I'm helping him to send you on an adventure. If you're a real king, what a real king would do is to accept all challenges. So again, I love that scene. And Power mentions, well, as I started seeing fate from the eyes of a god, I learned how to play around with fate. Cruel fate. And then we cut to Wangnan, so we're assuming that the sword is the cruel fate. It's something that is meant to screw with both Bomb and Wangnan, probably. And so yeah, we see everybody exiting, it would seem, because the light appears and Yuri and Karaka are standing there. Neither one looks particularly injured. But yeah, I said in the live reaction, Karaka's probably just going to book it out of there, like, screw it, what am I going to stay here for? I kind of still feel the same. Karaka has lost at this point. Karaka's got no eggs left in the basket. Even Rachel's team is not really worth Karaka's time, I feel. Because what has Rachel's team done for Karaka, really? So yeah, Karaka should just leave. What does Karaka have to do here? But yeah, that was everything that happened. I thought it was a really fun chapter, even though it was short. I don't think it was amazing. I just think it was really, really fun. I really like the Data's a Hard speech in particular. There are things I like about the ending to this arc. We still got a little bit more to go. We'll see what next week has in store. There are things I like, but I feel like it's a little bit shallow overall, in that I kind of brought it up before, where the past few arcs we kind of just had storylines, whether they be side stories, mostly side stories, that are just skimmed over. We have characters like in the Name Hunt Station. Imagine if we developed out all the 10 bosses, had really awesome fights with all the 10 bosses, and just made the arc a lot deeper. It'd be awesome instead of just focusing solely so much on Bomb, but the arc was still very incredible because we did focus on a lot of other characters. The big one is Floor of Death, where we introduced a bunch of characters that would have been cool to develop, a bunch of fights that would have been cool to have, and then we just skip all of it. None of it really has any sort of final conclusion, and we just focus on Bomb and Yurik and Heljo a lot. And even a lot of that doesn't get totally concluded, and we just jump on through things and rush. And I'm not blaming CU, but even though I'm not blaming CU, it still is kind of a not good thing that things have to be so rushed. And the same with this ending. I feel like it leaves a lot of things a little bit shallow, a little bit unfinished. We didn't get to see what happens with Kunaguru Agnes and Kiseiya in as much detail as I think would have been good. I think the Andrasi stuff will continue on into the future, and maybe if the Data can become real corporeal beings, maybe she takes this clone or whatever of the Snake Charmer with her, and that's kind of an obstacle she has to overcome in the future. If it's not, that kind of sucks, because we're skimming over that and completely eliminating what could be an incredible story for Andrasi. But we can see that has potential for the future. But like a lot of the boxes and medley stuff, it feels like a lot of things are just kind of getting skimmed over, and it's just not being told in the detail in which it could, where I guess I'm kind of used to a lot of other shonen, like Boku no Hero Academia or One Piece, giving a lot of the side stories and a lot of the characters other than the main character a lot of time and development, and having everything be really, really important and all link in together, and there's a main story, but the side stories are all really deep and developed. Whereas with this arc and the arc before, and kinda Name Hunt Station, the main story is really deep and developed and good, but the side stories are just kind of there, and there's not really much of anything happening with them for the vast majority of the time, and a lot of them just never get concluded, or they get skipped over, or we just leave them behind, and we don't really ever get any kind of conclusion or finish to those side stories. And I think that kind of works in some instances where it's a character that can't climb up the tower anymore and we leave behind their story. That makes total sense. and it makes you feel the loss of not being able to finish climbing the tower. So that works really, really well. But except for that sort of one condition, or that sort of circumstance, it's usually not very good to just skim over things and move along without developing any of it. Again, I don't blame Siyu, but it's still not a good thing in a story. Also, the sword is a bit of an ass-pull, but I don't mind it because I thought it was cool. I thought the scene was good, and like it was brought up in the comments, it really fits with Tower of God's themes. There's a lot of themes going on where characters make a deal with some mysterious power to gain strength, and it usually doesn't work out very well for them, but they have that power. So it just fits the general narrative of characters having to make deals with sketchy things to get power. I would give the chapter as a whole 7.5 tentacle swords out of 10. I thought it was good. I really enjoyed it, or else I wouldn't give it a score that high. It was fun, but there are some things that are like, and they're mostly not really about the chapter, more about the arc as a whole and its ending as a whole, which is why I didn't lower the score much for any of that. But yeah, it's just kind of And as for the blog just sounds like hell as always. And everybody in the comments always brings it up too in the comments of the blog. Like, Siyu's just constantly sick and has no time and is just working his ass off. And it's obvious that he wouldn't do it if he didn't love it. And he wants to make the fans happy. And I really appreciate all of that. I wish there was some way that he could have more of a break or something, but it seems every time, it seems like it's not really his decision to never take a break ever. It's just that Naver has really strict guidelines, I think, and Naver keeps pushing him and forcing him, and it just seems like not a good system. It's like Manhwa Sweatshop. But especially seeing, like, maybe it's like just a really bad Korean system Naver has, because we know that other artists have said Naver is really, really kind of bad. Even though they do provide us with Webtoon and stuff for free, working artists pretty hard, but there's so many people I see that do, and again, artists don't get paid nearly what they should or anything. I'm not saying artists are just rolling in money, obviously, but there are people I see and follow that make like little 4-panel comics or whatever once or twice a week, and they get a ton off of Patreon and off of these different sort of revenue streams. But it seems like Siyu does so much more work than that, and still doesn't have the comfortability to take any break or to take it slow and really focus on the detail of the work. So yeah, it's mostly just I really feel bad for Siyu because it seems like Naver is just sweatshopping the guy. Also in the blog, the only thing about the story I found kind of important to bring up is that at first he was thinking about having Wangnan meet Zahard face-to-face and showing it on panel and everything, but we don't know if they did meet face-to-face there, the dad of Zahard and Wangnan. But even if they did, he didn't do it on panel because he thought it would spoil future plot lines and stuff, so it wasn't the time to reveal all the cards on the table there. Which makes total sense. But either way, I guess that's it. That's all I got to say. So, like, if you did like the video, sorry I'm ending it kind of abruptly. I'm just trying to hurry up so I can get all these videos up tonight. So yeah, like, if you did like the video, comment down there. Tell me what you thought of this chapter, what you thought of my thoughts, reaction, or, yeah, not reaction, but my thoughts and all that. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated and stuff for the channel. Subscribe for more Tower of God, much more on the channel. If you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us there, just ask and I'll give you a link to that. So yeah, that's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.